This is a video on using ratios to convert units. To start off, we're going to learn how to create a ratio to convert units. So you'll always have to understand or know a conversion factor here. So hopefully you're familiar with feet and inches. If you're not, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a statement that says so many inches is equal to so many something else's, you can make this work for you. And I have actually an example of a random unit in our examples below. But here we're going to use something that should be familiar to most people. 12 inches is 1 foot. All right, so that's just commonly known as an equivalency of two different units. If we need to convert from feet to inches, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to write that conversion factor in a slightly different way. We're going to put the feet in the denominator of a fraction, and we're going to put the inches in the numerator. So whatever we're trying to get rid of, at least at this point, is going to go in the denominator, and whatever we're trying to convert into is going to go into the numerator. So we have 12 inches in the numerator, and we have 1 foot in the denominator. And the reason this works is if I took 12 inches equals 1 foot, I'm just rewriting that equation, and I divide by 1 foot on each side. Algebraically, the units behave as if they were variable, and then anything divided by itself is equal to 1, and I get a ratio of the number of inches in 1 foot. And we know it's equivalent to 1, which is going to be important when we start using them to convert. All right, so this is the first ratio, and that's what I would use if I wanted to convert from feet to inches. If I wanted to convert from inches to feet, again, if I'm going to start off with 12 feet equals 1 inch, I'm going to write a fraction. I'm going to put inches in the denominator, and I'm going to put feet in the numerator. Again, if I wanted to do that on the equation, I'm going to divide both sides by, I totally messed that up. That's 12 inches in 1 foot. And we're going to divide by 12 inches, and we end up with 1 equals our ratio. All right. The quick way to do it, though, is just to take the value that you're trying to, or the unit that you're trying to get rid of, put that number in the denominator with the units, and put the other one in the numerator. So let's look at how this might work for those two problems. So if we want to convert feet to inches, I'll do a nice simple one so that the arithmetic doesn't really get in the way. 3 feet to inches. So 3 feet times my conversion ratio here, 12 inches over 1 foot. And I have a multiplication that I'm going to do. I'm multiplying this fraction by the units and the number that I have. The reason we can multiply by this fraction is that it is equal to 1. Whether I'm using this ratio or that ratio, they're both equal to 1, and each has its own purpose. One gets rid of feet, one gets rid of inches. So right here, feet will cancel feet, leaving me inches. So I know that my end answer here is going to be in inches. And I know that this is also, the 3 feet is also 3 feet over 1. So that's also a fraction. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 12. The feet will cancel. I leave the inches. 3 times 12 is 36. So I get 36 inches. On the other example here, if I wanted to convert, again, let's go with something reasonable. Let's go 18 inches to feet. So I'm going to take 18 inches. I'm going to multiply by 1 foot divided by 12 inches. Inches here and inches there cancel each other out. That's the whole purpose of using that ratio, and the unit that's left is feet. So in this case, I have a number in the numerator and a number in the denominator. So I have 1 times 18 and then divided by 12. So I have 18 over 12, which reduces to, well, it's reduced by 9. Nope, not by 9, by 6. And we get 3 over 2 feet, which you're probably like, why would he do that? And that's really 1.5 feet. Okay, all kinds of different ways we can look at that. That's a totally different lesson. Now let's look at a random ratio, because you're going to run into conversions that you're like, I didn't know that, and this will simulate that. So what if I told you that we had an equivalency of 5 JJ equals 1 RJ? All right, so we would, if we want to get rid of JJ, like in this first example, right, we're converting from 300 JJ to we don't know how many RJ. The ratio that we would want to use, we would divide by 5JJ. So we would take 300 JJ times 5 JJs in the denominator, 1 RJ in the numerator. The JJs will cancel. I should use a different color. I do 300 times 1. I do the 1 that you don't see in the denominator of the 300 times the 5. And the unit stays now RJ. 300 divided by 5 is 60. Okay, we don't know what RJ stands for. It's just a random unit that I made up just for this problem. Let's check out converting from RJ to JJ. So again, we want to take our value and the units that we're trying to get rid of. We put the unit that we're trying to get rid of in the denominator, the unit that we want to keep in the numerator. We look at our conversions and we say, oh, 5 JJ. So the 5 goes in the top and the 1 here goes in the bottom. It won't always be a 5-to-1 ratio. It could be whatever number you need to put in there. In this case, it's 5-to-1. It could be a different situation. It could be 3-to-4. It's really whatever ends up happening here. So then we're going to take the numbers. 27 times 5 gives me 135. This RJ and this RJ will cancel, leaving me JJ. And then we have one more problem here. We have 2.3 RJ. And then we're going to use the same conversion factor. The RJs cancel. I multiply, and I get 11.5 JJ. So that's how you can use a ratio to convert units. All you need to know is that original equation of how many of one equals the other.